Real energy comes from that mental clarity and that drive that you get in that process. It's so cliche, that quote unquote process that you go through to get to those goals. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another Thursday, another whatever day that you are watching this podcast. Welcome back to the Morning Takeaway. I am just kind of reflecting on last week's podcast and sort of getting real and just like reflecting on my life for that past week and implementing the practices that I want to implement in order to be the best version of myself. And I was looking at the comments, I was obviously seeing them come in and interacting with you guys as usual, and it was just really hitting me just how much I enjoyed that podcast. And I even had some people, saying like, crazy you said that because I'm feeling this exact same thing right now as well. And I think this is just a testament to the fact that we're all going through something, or we've gone through it before. And that's why I say, if I reflect back, probably 15 years ago when I was sitting watching a YouTube video, listening to a YouTube video in my car, just like this, a podcast, and basically heard the words that somebody had the courage to get on a microphone and a camera and say the words that he said. And it ultimately changed my life. Like, I was thinking about it today on my bike ride, just thinking, holy cow, like, would I think the way I think? And, I say that because I enjoy getting on here and interacting with you guys. And for today's podcast, I kind of want to get into a similar episode, just kind of reflect over this past week. I was going to do kind of a 2-in-1 deal, and it would be a little longer, but I think I'm going to shorten that first part and just kind of update you. So before we get into it, if you don't mind giving this video a like, comment, whatever your takeaway is. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching this video and you watch my videos and you're not already subscribed, it helps me out more than you know. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you're able to see exactly when my videos come out and you can be the first one to watch me. Just full transparency, the faster you watch them within the time frame that they are posted, the better it helps me out, right? So whatever it is with the algorithm on YouTube. So without further ado, and also if there's any way that you can repay me, share this show if there's something I say or do. This is eventually going to be on Spotify one day, so you won't really be able to see what I do. But if there is, send it to somebody you love, somebody you care about, whatever you think they might take away from it as well. So without further ado, I want to get into the second part of the episode that I was going to do and make it a little longer, but I just want to kind of paraphrase. So if you notice, if you've been watching my podcast here on YouTube or listening, whatever, maybe you glance down at the screen, usually I have my mic. Usually I have my red little box over here, which is the mic transmitter or whatever. I'm not all that great with technology. I don't even know the name for it. If you know, let me know in the comments. And I usually have my silver laptop. Well, yesterday, my silver laptop, my 2013 MacBook, decided to crap out on me. And that was step one. This is my best friend's computer who is kind enough to let me use this right now. And then, later on that day, my toothbrush wasn't working. Technology. Toothbrush, boom, gone. It's a very nice toothbrush. I value that thing. And then, I go to use my razor, and my razor craps out on me. So, little to say, all of my electronics were just taking a big crap on my life. And it's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, very materialistic, right? Like, you don't need these things, but they're a part of my life, right? So during that day, that was just kind of one after the other electronically. But also, throughout the day, things just weren't going as planned, right? And I think that's kind of the second part of that episode, of this episode which I'm making obviously part 1. But anyways, I digress. Basically, the moral of the story is some things popped up yesterday. I'm very routine oriented. You guys know I love my productivity to-do list, aka a to-do list. And I was things kept coming up and up and up. I'm looking at a new apartment. Some things came up with this apartment, and just life sometimes gets out of order, and that's reality. And if there's any way that I can sum this little part of the podcast up, it is the fact that that's life. And life is going to throw us curveballs. Life is going to throw us random things that we don't see coming. And I'm a person that's very, very almost like OCD about getting my things done and being fast to the moment then slow in the moment, right? Like I want to get my stuff done. It makes me, helps me build that self-confidence, right? I've talked about that on other podcasts, but I think it's about taking that and taking your routine and finding balance, right? Like, hey, something popped up. Let's prioritize what's on our list, maybe bump something in tomorrow, and instead of having to stay up longer and longer and longer and feel like you're stressing yourself out for really what doesn't matter in the future or the past, and take care of what's in the moment right now, and then we'll take care of the future once we get to it, right? We can plan, we can have a vision, but also what needs to be done in the moment needs to be done, right? So I think that's my biggest takeaway from that. Just yesterday I was finding myself having to take a lot of deep breaths. Admittedly, there was a little bit of frustration. We're all human. But that's part of it, right? And I think that it's, circling back to the beginning of this podcast, is we are all human and we all have these random things. So if there is something that pops up and you find yourself having a hard time, dealing with that, maybe it gets in the way or just over frustrated, I urge you to just take a step back and take the longest inhale through the nose and the longest exhale through the mouth. And just take a big deep breath. And realize where you are, and realize, I heard this stat the other day, that there is a 1 in 4 quadrillion chance of you becoming a human being. Pretty freaking crazy. So, without getting too crazy on that, I want to kind of reflect, get to the second part of this episode, which I guess would be part 1, which is what I really wanted to make the whole podcast about, but we'll see where it goes. So just kind of building on last week's podcast and, getting real. I had another weekend last weekend, and I wouldn't say another weekend, but like after I put that podcast out, that whole I don't feel like it episode, and then you just do it. You just have to get through it, and you always feel better when you do, right? Well, then I went out and I actually had it was worth every penny. It really was. Went and saw Albert Pujols play the Dodgers in LA with some of my best friends and had a night. We were lucky enough to see Albert Pujols, which we had tickets for Friday and Saturday to hopefully see it. But he hit home runs number 699 and 700 of his career. And for those of you that don't know, in the baseball world, there's only 4 people in the history of ever to be able to do that, 700 home runs. And to see that firsthand was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It really was. They were my best friends, hanging out, having a good time, and just the energy in there was crazy. And I think that's something I want to talk about. It's the energy. That is what I wanted to make this about. Energy versus energy. And going back to this past weekend, yes, I went out, I had a crazy night, and the next day I was hurting. I was feeling like crap. We all know that feeling. Hungover, not feeling good. And for me, there's just a piece of that where I know the way that I want to live my life is with energy. And good, clean energy. Sorry, my thing is going off. Hello. Alarm. That was an alarm telling me to post a Facebook reel. So, also, if you don't follow me on Facebook, head on over to Facebook. Anyways, so energy versus energy. And how to increase energy, right? I think there's a lot of different ways we could talk about this, but for the most part, I'll break it down how I see it. You can get energy from different forms. You can get energy from fake forms, as in, let's call it drugs, alcohol, caffeine, which is kind of a drug, food, all of these different things, like bad food, I should clarify. And you get that kind of high, and then you crash, and you feel like crap, right? Like you get uppers and uppers and uppers, and then the next day after you drink, you feel like crap. And you have that energy for a blip, but then you go to the next day, and in the future, you're really just gonna have less energy, right? Where on the contrary, and how I really strive to live my life, and I had this realization last weekend after, it was worth it. Maybe I could have been a little bit more moderate with the drinking after Pool Holes hit 700, but that's not how I want to live my life. And I genuinely enjoy the clean energy that I get from waking up at 5 a.m., being in my routine, building that self-confidence through journaling, meditation, being as clear as possible, eating the cleanest foods, staying in my routine of intermittent fasting, working out I worked out 3 times a day, and that was kind of my mission after this past weekend. Hey, I am taking control of my life. And not that I haven't before, but I just know what that feels like, and I want to keep getting to that point, right? And if there's anything you can take away from this, it is that the real energy comes from that mental clarity and that drive that you get in that process. It's so cliche, but that quote unquote process that you go through to get to those goals. And for me, the goals are always ongoing. Obviously there's different goals here and there, but it's having that goal in mind on a daily basis. What is your daily goal? My daily goal is to be as clear and physically strong and mentally strong as possible, right? The grand vision is there, but in that day, what can I do? How can I spend every second of my 86,400 seconds in a day the most productive way possible to be clean in my energy, right? And that sounds a little weird. Clean in my energy. To live the most clearly and get that kind of energy, right? There's a different kind of energy. And, without talking too much about it, I'm probably boring you, but my biggest takeaway for anybody is, like, have you ever had that feeling of after you didn't want to do something? Maybe you're not really that into fitness and you go on a run or you go on a walk, and after you're like, holy crap, I feel incredible. That endorphin rush, that clarity, that on top of the world feeling. You accomplished something that you didn't want to do. You went out and you did something to better yourself. You feel incredible. Your health, your heart is in a good place. Your mind is in a good place. Your body's in a good place. Everything feels really good. And if you can start to be aware of how that feels, or take note of what foods make you feel like crap and what foods make you feel clean, and like, hey, I just ate a huge meal, but I'm not that full. Like, take that, like, recognize those kinds of things, right? That's all a culmination and things, ways that we can start habit stacking these habits and disciplines to feel our best. And, if there is something that you take away from that, let me know. Like, maybe you didn't realize, like, hey, I should pay attention to the foods that I eat, right? And see how it makes, like, people have food logs. If there's a challenge that I have for you, after every meal, keep a little diary, write what you ate, and just go like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and an hour. That's probably a little extreme. Let's go 30 minutes and an hour after, or 10 minutes and an hour, and tell me how you feel. Tell yourself how you feel, and recognize, just get your brain to start thinking like, hey, I just had McDonald's and I feel great. Like, oh my gosh, 10 minutes after, that was awesome. I feel good. I'm more energized now. An hour later, you want to take a nap. Okay, I just ate grilled chicken, sweet potatoes, and some rice, whatever it is. Okay, I'm a little full. I feel pretty good. An hour later, holy cow. I should say chicken, haha. I feel incredible, right? And starting to notice those things and being aware of how different things make you feel. And I think that's applicable to life. That's applicable to your relationships, applicable to your friendships, your workplace environment, whatever it is. Just recognize like, hey, that person makes me feel like crap. I'm going to avoid them. Yes, I have to be with them on a daily basis, but hey, I'm going to say what I need to. I'm still going to be a nice person, a genuine person. I'm going to smile at them. But I don't have to let that person take up time and space in my brain and in my life, right? They're not going to affect me. And I'm aware, like, hey, that person has taken a huge toll on me, right? Mentally, physically, whatever it is. Hopefully not physically. But in that sense, it's a sense of recognizing that and saying, hey, I'm not going to allow this person to take up space, and I'm aware that it's there, and I'm able to direct this attention and that space that's built up inside me to another place, right? Maybe I take that and put that space and that time, that energy on that person into time or energy in my journal, in a meditation, in deep breaths, in going to the gym, whatever it is. And I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but I just love this stuff, and I'm super passionate about just that healthy lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, there's times to implement your fun, right? And it should be, to me, it is fun. Living that way, it is fun. But I always say, like, especially to my one-on-one clients, like, you do not have to live the lifestyle that I live. You probably don't live the same lifestyle that I live, right? I'm very grateful for the position that I'm in and the platform that has been created because of you guys, and it's my mission and goal every day to wake up and give everything I have on every platform to you all, right? And that's a different lifestyle than it is, working at the bank. And there's nothing wrong with working at the bank. I'm just using that as an example, right? And yeah, it's super powerful, because working anywhere, anybody's work, it should be important to you to feel clear, right? And like my roommate, we talked about it last night. I said, dude, you're always in your best mood after you work out. He usually works out about 4 p.m., gets home about 5, and that's always the best mood he's in. He was like, wow, I was thinking about that today. Like, so why wouldn't you want to work out in the morning to start your day? You hate waking up, but that you accomplish waking up. You go work out. Now you're in an incredible mood. Your workout's knocked out for the rest of the day. You don't have to do it at the end of the day. And you're in a great mood, right? You think a little more clear. You make more conscious decisions. And it all begins to kind of be this stacking thing and that the compounding effect. And, I feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse because I talk about this stuff all the time. But, there's different ways to loop it in. So energy versus real energy. Energy versus energy. And how you can increase your energy, right? With those natural awareness practices and how you act on your lifestyle, right? So I think that's all I got. That was kind of a long one. How long do we go for right there, my friends? Let's see. Oh wow, 18 minutes, pretty good. So let's knock out a little random question. I don't even have it pulled up. Wow, random question generator. Where are you, my friend? There you are. This new laptop is so crispy. Generate a random question. What line from a song has always had the biggest impact on you? First thing I can think of is Travis Tritt, "It's a Great Day to Be Alive." And it's a cliche. It's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. Not a great singer, but that whole line right there, the sun is still shining when I close my eyes. Like, the sun's always going to be there. The sun is always going to rise in the morning. The moon is always going to come out at night. Well, technically. Day is going to come after night. And that reassurance, if you can hold that, I'm getting deep here. If you can hold that in whatever hardship you might be going through, that in and of itself is something that you can take as a positive, in my opinion, right? Like, there's something that's always structured there for you, and whatever you believe in, whatever energy religion, whatever you believe in. Like, there is something there for you. And it's permanent, right? Like, the sun is going to rise in the morning. And it's a new day, it's a fresh day, and it's a great day to be alive. So, I think that's a good way to end this thing. I appreciate you guys listening to me rant on this Thursday or whatever day it is that you're listening to this or watching this, listening to it in the car, listening to it while you shower in the morning, whatever it is. I truly appreciate you guys. And if there is anything I said that you take away from the morning takeaway, day takeaway, night takeaway, whatever, then please share with somebody. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And yeah, go out there, have an awesome freaking day. I will see you guys on Sunday for another vlog style. I'm heading to the ranch again tomorrow, so I'll be kind of MIA. But anyways, I hope you're crushing it. Hope you're having an awesome day. Hope you crush your day. Yeah, I've said it 5 times. It's a great day to be alive. Have an awesome freaking day, and don't forget to smile.